Hey, I'm gay,
I'm not so gay,
and
and
we're
we're
the
the
Gay
Gay
Grumps.
Grumps. Hello,
Hey gamers.
everyone. Yeah, hi, gamers. This is the Revcord Crabrawler Division PR by yours truly, Perturbo and Frubblez.
Hello.
Wow. Um. Alright, so just a reminder: this is all for fun. We're not trying to bash on people for like drafting bad teams, right? Like the most important thing to take away from this is that if you have a bad team, there are ways to fix it, right? And if you have a good team, congrats, you have a great team. We hope to see you do well either way.
Also, of course, the preface, these are just our opinions. And even if we rate that your team is poor, the most important thing is your prep and play. Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong in your matches, guys.
Yeah. So, things to look out for. These were like the main things that we looked out for: type chart, hazard, setting and removal, and speed tiers. Um, we also looked for stuff like offense, like how good you are at breaking, sweeping, how good your defense is, any X factors like special synergies or unique options that you might have, and of course, pivots. Lots and lots of pivots.
We love them poets.
hmm
All right.
So, first team on our list is the Texan Toxic Rogues.
Fish.
Unfortunately, you are the worst team that we saw, basically. Someone has to be the
Uh,
worst.
so things I like about this team, Um, Mega Gallade plus Enamorus, that's a scary combo, all right? Mega Gallade can basically hit everything physically, and Enamorus, while it doesn't have as many coverage moves, it doesn't need that many. All you need is Moonblast, Earth Power,
Yeah.
Mystical Fire.
hmm
Everything's dead.
Honestly, even just like Mega Gallade Enamorus and then Toxic Croak. Like that's cool. That's a good combo right there.
Toxicroak is a really nice secondary fighting type because
hmm
it lets you hit those fairy types with your Poison Stab.
hmm Um, the hazard setting is also great.
Yep, you got two reliable rockers, a Spiker, and Toxic Spiker and Hisuian Quillfish, and Webs.
hmm Those are all great. Unfortunately, other than I guess like a Alolan Executor, who is good, it has like a lot of random coverage moves because it's a Gen 1 adjacent Pokemon. Enamorus is like your only like immediately threatening special attacker. There's like
Yeah,
yeah, it's not great. Toxic Croak of course can set up nasty plot, but that's also Toxic Croak has low base stats and not great moves to use in the first place.
yeah. Um, you do have the best spinner in Great Tusk, but it's only one hazard removal, and it's spin. And one, sorry, pause. There's a fire alarm happening in my building. Sorry, technical difficulties. Anyway, you do have the best spinner in Great Tusk, but that is your only form of hazard removal, and Hatchram is not really holding enough with Magic Bounce to keep it
No.
reliable. So, you're gonna have to spam boot on a lot of Pokemon. Um, the weaknesses on this team, you have a large flying weakness, a large fire weakness, and a large fairy weakness. So, especially if your opponent can just bring a choice Pokemon, choice specs, or choice band, and be completely unchallenged, that's the biggest thing you're going to have to struggle with.
Copperajah is taking up a lot of roles for this team, especially defensively. Like where we just mentioned flying and fairy weakness, yeah, you have Copperajah, and Copperajah is a great resistance to those types. It's also gonna have to take a lot of hits because of that, and the fire weakness that you have is also not great for Copperajah. Um, Last to mention, is this a Webs team? I feel like this is a Webs team. It's so slow.
It has a webs mode, it has a trick room mode. I think both can be decent, but the problem is both are circumventable. Especially webs is really weak with the advent of boost in draft. And then also you have trick room is just not that reliable to set up. You have glowing executor, which I do like, but it's only so many turns.
And also,
But
you don't have a great ghost type for that spin blocking. Unfortunately, Mega Banette is just not it a lot of the times.
but I feel like this team has the most potential to surprise me. So
Yeah, yeah. Overall, you can do. This team probably can do a lot better than we expect, honestly.
um, next team.
Hydros, Spike Myth, Slowbros. I made this
Uh,
I made this presentation in like 30 minutes because I had no time. But God, those logos are crusty. Um, this team is thick. That's about it.
Seems fair.
Um,
It has the best hazards, bar none. Like you don't have webs, whatever. You have five rock setters, three spikers, and two toxic spikers.
yeah, by best hazards by far. Um, and for a team like this, the pivots are quite good.
Pivots are pretty solid. You have Baton Pass, Umbreon, Volt Switch Fortress, U-turn Corviknight, Teleport, Mega Slowbro. I
Yeah,
like it.
good pivots. Have we mentioned that it is thick? It is very
It's so
thick.
thick.
It's very
Look at
thick.
those defensive stats.
On the flip side, no power.
Yeah, your only offensive Pokemon are really Komodo and Scolipede. And yeah, the team has a lot of different options to set up power, bulk up Corviknight, Calm Mind, Mega Slowbro, or Calm Mind, Mega Sableye. But it can't just hit the field and make progress. It needs to
No.
take time.
Yeah. There's also no speed.
Yeah, when your second fastest Pokemon is Galarian Linoone,
That's not great.
um,
No.
that's not
And
great. They really went hard in on Stall.
no, and that's not great. Stall isn't great. Stall can work, but I don't think this is the stall that works. Also,
Uh,
despite being stall, there's a weakness. There's some weakness here to fairy fighting and like a big weakness to ice, which isn't great.
yeah, your only ice resist are Fortress and Mega Slow, bro. Both can be overwhelmed, and especially if the opponent happens to have Freeze Dry, it's just Fortress then.
Yeah. Also, your double megas, like I get it, right? Stall team, Silver Sableye, like this, but like, mm, I don't think this works.
You can't activate them both, and while Slowbro is certainly solid without its Mega Form, you do lose out on a key item slot for Colbur Berry, for heavy duty boots, for leftovers.
Mm-hmm. And also, I think having Mega Sableye, who is like one of the best Pokemon at preventing any hazards from getting off, alongside Corviknight and Fortress, like that's not a great like uh you're not managing your resources correctly, I feel like, on this team.
The hazard removal is good, but condensed into three very specific Pokemon
Yeah.
that your opponent can work around. But also, I find that if I don't have the correct types, this team is just unbreakable,
Yeah,
right?
obviously. Yeah.
So much bulk. So, I'm looking forward to see some 100 plus turn games.
Mm.
That was a joke. That was a joke. Please don't make the games that long.
Next is Drew's Buffalo Soldiers. Drew did not provide a logo, and I am forced to use this stock image of no image available as a result.
So on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Drew drafted hyper offense. And it's scary. So of course, the first pick, Alolan Ninetales, that is the best screen setter
Mm-hmm.
because while it's not the fastest, it sets both in one turn.
Yeah.
And that's invaluable. Not to mention Snow Buff in Generation 9 is huge for its bulk. You can almost always get off one Veil unless you're facing a bullet punch from Banded Scizor.
Yeah. Uh, the Firewater Grass Core, very nice, very nice. We love to see that. Um,
Yeah.
ha-
Charizard plus Prim, that is a scary. That's like a bit budget of Gouging Fire plus Tapu Fini, and we've seen Gouging Fire Tapu Fini do amazingly. And then Vileplume just adds on to it.
mm-hmm. It's nice. Hatterene can bounce hazards, block the fog for Veil. Good shit. Good shit.
Yeah. And then lastly, we just have good pivots. You have Volt Switch Thundurus, Baton Pass Ninetales, Flip Turn Primarina, Baton Pass Hatterene as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And U-Turn Lipard. You can just keep up momentum, and that's super important for a very offensive team.
Uh, unfortunately, for your weaknesses, you have a poison weakness somehow. And I say somehow. The reason is because you have 3 fairy types. You have a ground weakness and a really bad flying weakness.
Yeah, the only flying resist is Thunderous Therian, who is not exactly bulky.
Yeah. Like
Um,
Zapdos, Galar, right? Just like Brave Bird, Brave Bird, Brave Bird. And then what do? You know? Um you also have no hazards.
the utter lack of hazards on this team for hyper offense is crazy. You have Toxic Spikes and Sticky Web, both from Ariados, who is I hate to
Ariados.
say it. I know this is controversial. I don't think Ariados is that good.
No, no, unfortunately
And your
no.
removal, while they're good Pokemon, Megazord X and Thunderous Therian are both good Pokemon, they don't want to be running Defog. You
No.
want to be playing offense with those.
I get that your entire point here, right, is to well actually, oh, looks like you made some trades, right?
Yeah, but this PR, I forgot to make this disclaimer at the beginning, is based off of your post-Grace teams, not any trades you made after round one or anything like that, because we could not have accounted for it when
Yeah.
making these.
It looks like you traded Hatterene and Lucario for Zatu and Mamoswine, which I guess are decisions. We will not be commenting on that.
No.
Um, yeah, your Pokemon, yeah, you don't have great flexibility in your sets. A lot of these Pokemon have like one set or like one variation of a very similar set. And maybe for hyper offense, that's like kind of like how it goes, but I don't think that's a particularly good thing for draft.
But who knows? You might just win in 10 turns and beat everyone.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to see how you these 3-turn games instead of the 10 to 100 turn game.
All right. Next is Nitro's Gongaga Grambles, who also did not provide a logo. Unfortunate. And
That's why they're low, because they didn't add a logo.
yeah. Um, and apparently Electrode not feel like showing up today on that image. I
I
don't know
feel
why
like
Electrode didn't load. Um,
first thing about this team, it's fast.
yeah,
This
very
team goes
fast.
zoom.
It is a Zoom
Um,
team.
Electrode for 1 point, that might be the best 1-pointer, like next to Muck,
Yeah.
because something false swipe gaming Deoxys theorem,
I think it was
like
wasn't it Ninjask theorem? I don't know.
no, it's the Deoxys theorem.
Oh, that's stupid.
Ninjask is bad and Deoxys is really good. But just having that level of speed is insane, and it can Thunder Wave and Foul Play. And that's not even mentioning your other fast Pokemon, Cinccino, Ogerpon, Latias.
Yep.
Your physical offense is really strong, and it's diverse. You have a wide range of coverage with Mega Kangaskhan, Ogerpon, Melmetal, Cinccino, and Gliscor can run offensive stuff.
Hmm.
Um, there also just isn't really a big weakness on this team. The closest I can say is Rock, where you only have one resist for Rock, but it's Melmetal.
That's a
The Rock resist.
Yeah, that's the rock resist. What are you gonna do?
So, and much of your team really appreciates Tapu Fini preventing status.
Yeah,
Um, and no one here really relies on status either, so I really like that.
maybe
Final thing,
Gliscor. That's kind of it.
yeah, Gliscor is fine though.
Yeah,
Especially because it's Natdex and you can just run Swords Dance.
yeah.
Uh, and then
Uh,
finally, pivots. Pivots good.
yep. Great pivots.
You have a bunch of U-turn and a good amount of baton pass as well.
The cons of this team, let's say. Uh, Immediate special offense, not so great. Latias and Tapu Fini and Volcarona, obviously good special attackers. None of them are like immediately threatening on the turn that you send them out. Volcarona is good, right? Like the moment you send it out, you can always Fury Dance, and that is scary, but you're not Quiver Dancing, and that could be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, you're not running Specs Volcarona,
Not
unfortunately.
usually,
So
no.
Specs Latias can do some damage, but otherwise it needs turns to get better. And then the second thing, this team, while it's very fast, the speed tiers aren't amazingly placed. If you notice, after Tapu Fini, the speed drops off a cliff. And so since this team is really fast, but opponents with slower Pokemon can just invest full bulk because of that.
Mm-hmm. I think that this team is like missing a couple of things. It would like a spin blocker. It would like a stab close combat user, and this team would really appreciate a grounded poison type.
Yeah, there's nothing like essential that this team is missing. Just a couple small things. I feel like um I can nitpick this team, but otherwise it's just solid.
Yeah, another
Solid
rock
team.
resist would be nice as well.
Yeah.
All right, next team is that one heavies Celesteela Star Breakers. This is a
Um
weird team.
it is a weird team, but you know what it has? As pivots, I love me some pivots.
It
You
has
got
a excellent Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Garchomp, Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir, and Celesteela. That's fantastic. Um, this team is also really hard to wall. Um, Iron Hands, very scary. Celesteela, obviously very scary. Mega Gardevoir, Garchomp, Ogerpon, Moltres, Regieleki. These are all really really scary Pokemon that you don't want them to just have free turns using whichever attack they want. That's not great.
I don't think there's a single defensive core that can beat the combination of this offensive core, and I
No.
really like it.
Uh, Despite this team being on the lower half of like our list, I think if you play well, there's nothing that can stop just this team from winning every week. This is a really really powerful, like, because the offense is just so good. If you play your game and don't let the opponent play theirs, there's nothing that they can do. That's just kind of
Yeah.
it.
Um,
Unfortunately, this there are some key issues with this team that might prevent you from doing that.
Yeah, so the speed tiers once again aren't amazingly spaced out. After Moltres, it drops all the way to Alomomola, so Pokemon in that 90 to 65 range can invest heavily on bulk. And also Pokemon above 110 speed can be fast without needing to try to outspeed Regieleki because that's impossible.
Yeah.
So a couple just like weirdly spaced speed tiers.
There's also some weaknesses. Poison, dark. Another poison weakness. Wow. Stored power can kind of get out of control. And Shadow Ball is really spooky on this team because your ghost resists are Dodrio and Lopunny, who are Dodrio and Lopunny.
Yeah, like yes, Mega Gardevoir and Celesteela resist psychic attacks, but Stored Power is one of those moves that scales so quickly that it just boosts past them.
Yeah.
This team also relies on taking a lot of neutral hits. In general, like you don't have any dark resists besides Iron Hand. You don't have a ton of poison resists. Don't have a ton of fighting resists. So if someone has a strong stab move, they can break through.
Yeah, very scary. Um, Hazards are reliant on 2 Pokemon each for removal and setting. And just to be clear, these Garchomp and Ogerpon are great at setting hazards. And Moltres and Regieleki are great at removing hazards. The issue is they want to be doing other things sometimes. And if you have a game where Garchomp wants to be running Scale Shot, Swords Dance, Earthquake, whatever, um, and then you realize, oh wait, I can't run fucking Stealth Rock anymore, or I have to run Stealth Rock on my Swords Dance set. That's not
Yeah,
great. That's not great.
it, it's a little bit restrictive. But you do have what I think are like the enough
Yeah.
hazard setters and removers.
Mm-hmm. You're probably bringing 3 attack Celesteela every single game. Don't do that. Like, don't, please. Please don't do that. That is it. Moving on.
Um, Good team anyway.
Next is
Derp
Derp
Zones.
Zones. Derp Zones. Charleston Swarmers with Mega Beedrill. Fan favorite. Please let it go from Yu. Uh,
First thing, speed tiers are very good. It's a little bit deceptive because you do have 2 megas filling the fastest speed tiers, but even if we just remove one of them, they're just well-spaced speed tiers.
mhm.
Very fast. Your opponent's gonna have to account for a lot of different speeds.
This team's sorry, not hazards. Offense is also very good. Like just looking at everything, they're really, really spooky.
Yep, Beedrill, Ogerpon, Samurai. I mean,
Nidoking,
like having Samurai is already amazing for hazards. Cecil said he's a stupid
yeah.
move.
Nidoking
Um,
is very scary.
but the removal is also solid. You have Cyclozar, Zapdos, two extremely reliable hazard removers, and then also Rotom.
Yeah. Pivots, all the pivots. Rotom, Zapdos, again, Mega Beedrill, Cyclizer, Mega Manectric too.
Samurai Hisui as well.
Oh right, that thing has flip turn for some reason.
Yeah, because Samurai wasn't good enough already.
No, no. Yeah, all the pivots. Unfortunately, Dark Weakness, Dragon Weakness, and Ice Weakness. Dragon Weakness
So
isn't good. It's
yeah,
really
this
not.
is what happens. It's just what happens when you don't take a fairy type, because all you'll have is your steel type.
And your Steel type is
Um,
Berserker.
so someone can bring a Specs Drake. Someone can bring Outrage versus.
Yeah, you're
We are
reliving Gen
thrown back
5.
into Gen 5 where Outrage is a good move.
Did you see
Um,
like the other guy brings fucking Choice Band Outrage Garchomp? What do you do? What do you do?
so yeah, Dark, Ice, and Dragon. There's also a lot of pressure on Berserker, who I hate to say it, not a super bulky steel type.
Yeah, and it's probably coming every single game because it's a Steel type, and you need your Steel type. Uh,
And I
I
still don't quite understand taking Mega Manectric and Mega Beedrill.
no,
'Cause
no,
they're
no idea.
both fast and would be complimentary if you could mega them both in a game, but you can't.
No. Unfortunate. Another electric type is like fine, right? Even with Zapdos, I just think it's the fact that it's a mega. That's a big issue. Oh, you have
There's three
three. There's
electrics, but
three
two,
electrics. Jesus.
yeah, but two of them are ground immune, which makes them not electrics.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Next is probably my favorite team.
This is the best team.
This is the best team. Yeah, this
Ignore,
it says
ignore where
10.
the number is. This is the best. This is the number one team in our heart.
Yeah, the 0 is like you move that dot one space forward. That's like what the actual, ranking should be. 1.0. Um all right. So there's the Fire Water Grass Turtle Core, right? That can all shell smash. Aegislash is kind of like a turtle.
Yeah, if you put it sideways
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like the
yeah.
shield is the shell, that's a turtle.
That's a turtle. So that's a Fairy Dragon Steel Turtle Core as well. Um
There's turtles.
yeah, there's turtles. Dracovish is kind of a turtle, right?
Okay, but also in all seriousness, it's kind of weird how you made a cohesive team
No,
with
yeah, no.
6 turtles.
We put this team at 10th.
Yeah.
This is not bumped up because of comedy. This is just straight up 10th. Like there are there are 8 teams. Sorry, there are 6 teams worse than you, and you picked like turtles and
Turtles all the way down by YouTuber John Green. I hate to say ill things about turtles, but
no,
it is my duty
yeah,
as a unbiased critic. First thing, there is a Pawmot to Terrapago speed gap 105 to 85. Not huge, not bigger than what we've seen, but it is in a critical range where a lot of Pokemon, namely the base 100s, can take advantage of that with a nature.
mm-hmm. uh, despite all the turtles, your hazard game isn't great, and I don't know why, but like me and Frubblez, we both associated turtles with hazards for some reason. But
And it's just Torterra and Terrapagos.
no, yeah. Well, I guess they are associated with spinning, I guess.
Well, yeah, you have solid hazard removal. There's no defog, and while I do think defog is worse than rapid spin, only having rapid spin means you're inevitably spin blocked.
Yeah. And pivoting isn't great because turtles aren't known for pivoting. No. That's kind of it though. You know?
Yeah, I give this a turtle out of 10.
Yeah. Palmod is kind of a turtle if you think about it.
You know, Zoroark can pretend to be a turtle until it gets hit.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That is also true. I don't think Iron Boulder is a turtle though. No. Yeah, Palmod's a turtle, but Iron Boulder isn't.
Boulders themselves are turtles, though.
Oh, true.
If you
True.
think about
So if you
it.
think about it, everything on this team is a turtle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, moving on. Artie's Lando Lakes. They took Landorus.
Oh my gosh, good Pokemon alert.
Yeah.
Loving that Fire Water Grass core.
Yeah.
Iron Moth, Zarude, Greninja, terrifying Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And the Double Dark doesn't really matter when Greninja loves to run Protean, and its main stab move is Ice Beam.
Mm-hmm. Great offensive coverage from everyone. You know?
Yeah.
Just like in general.
And
Arcaludon is really scary too.
And then the hazard setting is really nice. I really appreciate the offensive hazard setters. I feel like those are underrated a lot of the time, like Pokemon that can set hazards while also forcing switches.
Mm-hmm.
You have Landorus, Arcaludon, Greninja, and Iron Moth all setting different types of hazards.
Yeah. It's just that sometimes it can be scary because what if they don't switch? Then you're taking a hit.
And then, of course, this team pivots ton of U-turn. You got Volt Switch on Zero Aura. And finally, it's fast. Zero Aura, Greninjas, Iron Moth, Zarude, Tauros. The thing is
Fast,
just fast.
speedy.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the removal is not great. The removal is Murkrow and Landorus. And, I mean, it is Landorus.
Landorus is reliable, but kind of like we mentioned earlier with Garchomp, there's other sets Landorus wants to run. It doesn't want to be forced to defog every.
Yeah. No speed below 85. But
Yeah,
there's Steelix, but, that's
there's
not.
still that's a massive drop off,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
The fighting matchup
Yeah.
is weird. So is the ground matchup.
Yeah, they aren't awful. Landorus, of course, always is holding it together there, but you do have to watch out for fighting types and ground types.
Yeah. Especially because even if Mimikyu is an immunity to fighting, the risk of getting rid of like wasting a disguise, that's not great. Um
And
so
then the last.
yeah, the last thing is please do not bring Rain Dance Murkrow for your Greninja and Archelodon. And Paldea Aqua Tauros. Don't do
Oh,
that.
I was gonna say that the special defense is pretty low
Oh yeah, that
because
too. Yeah, sure, whatever.
you have a double intimidate core. You have stamina or Caldon. You have Steelix. Amazing physical defense. Someone runs specs. That's not gonna be an amazing time for you though.
No. I liked my criticism better.
Yeah, no, please don't bring Rain Dance. They're gonna bring Rain Dance now, aren't they?
Hmm.
Because we said it.
Yeah, next team. Nia, Poliwrath and Boodle. I like that logo. I am sorry that it is ruined by me just upscaling it. uh,
Um,
Good hazards.
I like the hazards. Yeah, Screamtail, Golurk, Colossal, all very different Pokemon that can set rocks. Colossal also has spikes, and Galarian Slowking, one of the most reliable Toxic Spikers, because you can just kind of send it out, set up Toxic Spikes, and even if your opponent absorbs it or removes it, you can just switch it back out because Regenerators are stupid and set more Toxic Spikes.
Yeah. Fast team. Very fast team.
Yeah, I'm really liking the Lopunny Kilowatt Roll Screamtail Keldeo. That's just
Mm-hmm.
zoom in.
Megalopony is a very good Pokemon.
Lopunny. So especially with Galarian Slowking, which can provide future sight support,
Mm-hmm.
and Galarian Slowking also enables Kyurem to use Blizzard. And oh my god, if you've ever seen Specs Blizzard from Kyurem,
Gaming. You are gaming. Uh, you also have Keldeo and Kyurem, which I think that should be a core. That was a movie core. And
that
I
was a
think,
movie, yeah.
yeah, that was a movie. That was a shit movie, but it
It
was a
was a
movie.
bad
It was
movie,
a
but this
very
is a
bad
good
movie.
core.
It was possibly one of the. I think it's one of the movies that made people stop watching Pokemon movies. I don't think that's a joke. Well, Black and White in general is dog shit, but the
Yeah, we're
movies.
criticizing your team for being bad in the anime.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Limited
Um,
physical offense.
yeah, your physical attackers are Megalopony, Golurk, and sometimes Kyurem.
And
But
sometimes
Kyurem
Colossal.
definitely, yes, but uh, Kyurem definitely loves to be inspected more often, and Colossal not doing a ton of physical damage.
Golurk's
You
pretty
don't
nice.
really fill your type cores. We don't have, namely a fire or a grass type.
Oh, they have a fire type. They have Colossal.
Oh, they have Colossal. What am I saying? You don't have a grass type?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main thing. And the speed drop after Kyurem is rough. It goes from Kyurem to Mandibuzz, who on paper isn't that much of a drop, but you're not running speed on Mandibuzz.
Yeah.
Uh,
Also, your Steel type is Magneton, and that's not great. No, Magneton isn't a great Steel type. It's a very specialized Steel type.
the removal is You have two solid removals, but it's just them, Mandibuzz and Colossal. And if your opponent has a rock-type rocker, that can prevent you from removing hazards.
Yeah. Is that all?
Last thing is that Mandibuzz is super important for resisting earthquakes, because if Mandibuzz goes down, earthquake,
Oh,
earthquake, earthquake.
yeah.
But otherwise, I think this team is good.
Yeah.
Grab a grass type, you're probably Gucci.
There's probably other steel types that you can get than Magneton for 9 points. But, you know, you do you. Next team, Alex, Stalford Limited. I don't think you have any of the Pokemon in your logo, but, you know, that's pretty good.
The first thing I see is that vicious Fire Water Grass Core.
Yeah.
Urshifu Rapid Strike, Meowscarada, Gouging Fire. All three of these gamers hit like an absolute truck and have secondary stabs to complement it.
Mm-hmm. The Fairy Dragon Steel Core isn't lacking either. Uh, you have Gouging Fire as your dragon, Iron Treads as your steel, and both Pheasantipity and Ribombee as your fairies, and those are really good.
There's two more steals besides Treads. There's so many
Oh
steals,
yeah,
but
they
we'll
have.
get to that
Oh
later.
wow, they have. Oh, I didn't even see that first. Skarmory Registeel.
Um,
God. Hazards. Amazing hazards. Not as good as the stall team, but amazing hazards.
yeah, you have more than enough with Skarmory, Meowscarada, Registeel, and Ribombee.
Pivots are also good.
Yes, I especially love pivots because it lets in the Urshifu, Meowscarada, and Gouging Fire.
Yeah, every time. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a fire weakness going on. Gouging Fire is gonna have to take a lot of fire hits, and um, if it's not taking fire hits as it comes in, like the opponent realizes that you only have Gouging Fire, they can start using their secondary stab, and that can be really scary. And Urshifu isn't taking a lot of hits to begin with, even if they're resisted.
Uh, Also, the ghost weakness is just Meowscarada, and that's arguably worse because someone can just run Spec Shadow Ball,
Yeah.
and nothing on this team likes that.
There's a couple bad speed gaps. Namely, the one between.
Meowscarada and Iron Treads,
Mm-hmm.
that's the 106 to 121. And then also you have one from Gouging Fire to Skarmory, because I don't believe in Illumise. Prove me wrong.
Don't say that. Don't provoke them. Um, there's physical bias. With your three best Pokemon, obviously scary, but they're all physical attackers. Unless you're running the OU set, which is literally just there because of Great Tusk, so don't run it. Um, the
Yeah, the spectral attackers are Sinistcha and Ribombee.
yeah, not great. Sinistcha is great, but just Sinistcha and Ribombee is not great.
Um, but type cores are great. Um, don't get Hisuian Typhlosion, I guess. That Pokemon beats this team.
All right. Moving on to sixth. These are teams that we like quite a bit now.
Yeah, we're getting
Uh,
to the good stuff.
yep. Hoyts, Rockhampton, Rapscus.
No
Uh,
Raps because 0-10.
yeah, no Rapscus. Unfortunate.
But what you do have is Jesus Christ, a ton of hazards.
Yeah. This is
Mega
another 10 out
Garchomp.
of 10.
Yeah, Mega for hazards. Yeah, Mega Garchomp, Quagsire, Excadrill, Glamour. Glamour is the hazard setter next to Hisuian Samurott.
Mm-hmm.
Very scary. You have two unburdened Pokemon combined with Tapu Koko.
That's.
We're not counting Jumpluff. Jumpluff is not real. But Sceptile and not Excadrill, Sceptile and Halucha are both really real.
I don't think Jumpluff has Unburden.
Did I just gaslight myself into thinking Jumpluff had an Unburden?
It has Infiltrator.
Okay, never mind. You have too good. I don't know why I thought Jumpluff had Unburden. Anyway, you also have Slowking's Future Sight teleport into a lot of different physical attackers like Mega Garchomp, Excadrill,
Halucha.
and Halucha.
Yeah. Very
Really
scary
nice.
stuff. Unfortunately, ground weakness. Satile is not a ground resist. I mean, it is, but like, no, it's not.
Yeah, so really you're relying on Halucha, who is ground immune but a little risky, and Jumpluff is fake. No Ghost Resist. That's maybe more significant because once again, Spec Shadow Ball, nothing on this team wants to take that.
hmm
And finally, while you do have a fair amount of Psychic Resist, you don't have a Dark type to take on Sword Power.
No. Uh, Next is no Quark Drive on this team, which honestly, based right, like based as fuck. I hate Quark Drive teams, but like you drafted top of Coco, might as well get like Iron Treads over Excadrill, right? Like,
They-
come on.
They're they are above us all. No Quark Drive Electric
Yeah,
Terrain team.
yeah.
Um,
Based as fuck, but it is a minus, like objectively speaking.
Something we haven't really brought up before, but is something to look at. This team doesn't have a way to remove items well. Clefairy has knockoff and Slowking has trick, but that's it. You don't have a ton of knockoff,
No.
which is sad because you have such amazing hazards that your opponents using boot spam is very reliable.
Yeah. Speed tier between Halucha and Mega Garchomp, not great because Jumpluff doesn't exist. Garchomp's a weird. Mega Garchomp's a weird Pokemon. We all know that, but again, not great. Most people don't prep for, oh, this person's gonna, like remain as their base Garchomp form so that I can speed creep. Like, that's not happening, right? So, like, the speed gap is very real. And honestly, even if you count regular Garchomp, that's a 118 to 102. That's not good either.
No.
All right,
But
moving on.
electric terrain, unburden, Hawlucha wins, and I like it. So on to the top five? Top five time.
First is ISO's Whirl Island. I don't know how to read that word.
I
Um,
can't believe that this is the second team with three steel types.
no, and it's an actually good team, but like I
Both of
don't.
them are in the top half.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what do we know?
What do
Three
we
steel
know?
types
Yeah,
win this meta.
maybe three steel types is the answer. No. Um, the type chart is, despite having three steel types, pretty dang good.
Yeah, I can't really poke a hole in this type chart,
Despite
which is
having,
crazy.
despite having three steel types. Um, it's because they took like two levitators and also a fire
Really?
immunity.
Yeah. Two fire immunities.
Oh, Jesus.
Really good pivots. You have U-turn Sneasler, flip turn on Empoleon and Latios, baton pass dash bun. All of these can keep up momentum.
Mm-hmm.
This team also has five rock setters and five good rock setters. None of these are like not un Pokemon.
Yeah, on
These all
mods.
have a
Yeah.
yeah. And then you
Um,
just have all your type cores.
yeah, fire,
Fire,
water,
water,
grass.
grass,
Great.
fairy, dragon, steel. Even a really nice fighting psychic dark core.
Yep. All of them are really nice. And your removals really good too. Those
Yeah.
defogs are really something. And the Dom fan can even rapid spin.
Yeah. One good spinner and three good defoggers is like mwah, chef's kiss.
Uh, the hazard game is like not very synergistic with each other though, because only stealth rocks.
Yes. You could run Toxic Spikes on Sneasler, but Sneasler has better things to be doing, let's be honest.
Yeah. So you're gonna
And
have rocks up, but you're only gonna have rocks up, and maybe that's enough. But you like options. We like options here.
yeah. And the other main thing here is that you have a bad speed gap between Latios and Dashbun, who often does not like to be running speed.
No.
So that's annoying. But otherwise, this is a good team. And this also, once again, has double Unburden plus Hatapu.
Oh, that's okay. Well, now I hate it. Unburden is the lamest fucking ability ever. Like, this isn't a controversial take. Unburden's lame as fuck.
You just praised the last team for not having Quark.
Yeah, no, I praised it because it doesn't have Cork Drive. I still hate it because it has two Unburdens. Like, Unburden is so fucking lame. Sneasler could be a way cooler Pokemon if it just, like, ran, like, fucking, like, what it did in Revcord. Darkix was so real for not using fucking Unburden Sneasler ever and just using Choice Band every single week. That was so base of her. Okay? God, Unburden makes every single Pokemon just so lame and disgusting, and I hate it. Oh my god, moving on.
Number 4.
Sealy's Andalusian Togekisses. That is a. I don't know what that logo is, but I like it. I kinda dig it. What's he pondering? What is he pondering?
Pondering how fast this team is. Look at that. Mega Aerodactyl, Jolteon, Starmie, Delphox, and Flygon. This Pokemon is fast and solid spacing on their speed tiers as well.
Yeah, it's difficult to be fast and have good speed tiers. But this team, not bad. Hazards, amazing. You have the homophobic guy, and that's all you need. No, Heracross can lay spikes. It's an offensive spike setter, which we like. Muck, obviously, toxic spikes, great toxic spike setter. And
Flygon's a reliable rocker, and then also Mega Aerodactyl and Kingambit can occasionally tech rocks on their movesets.
yeah, occasionally. Removal, also really good. Starmie, fast rapid spinner, also offensively laying pressure as it rapid spins. That's really nice. The 3 defoggers that you have. Mega Redactyl, maybe not so much, but Togekiss and Flygon, really nice. Flygon got some really good shit in Gen 9, didn't it? Well, it got Stealth Rocks.
Flygon
That's all
got Stealth Rock, that's what I got.
Yeah, but that's like so good for it. Yeah.
And then the type chart is really good. I once again can't poke any holes in this type chart.
No. Why did you take Togekiss round 1?
That's not an actual flaw.
No, it's a flaw. It's a flaw.
Like
you took Togekiss, Ferrothor, and Muck. Those are like, what? Like,
this isn't a real. This is a 14. That's not a real flaw. What is a real flaw is you don't have amazing special attack. That's not even a real flaw. It's like fine. Your special attack is Togekiss, Starmie, Jolteon, and Delphox, and those are all good at special attacking. None of them blow me away though.
No. I think this team would like a ghost type for spin blocking. I think you could have gotten one. But
yeah, ghost type would be nice.
But that's it. It would be nice. It would be nice. Moving on. Axel, West Valley Valiants. Oh god. Look at that team. That's a good team.
It sure is a team. Yeah.
That's a good team. It's very threatening. There isn't a single Pokemon here that isn't making progress as long as it's on the field.
Yeah,
You
like
know.
the most passive Pokemon is Klefki, but Klefki can be setting screens using Thunder Wave, setting spikes. It's always doing something, and every other Pokemon is also scary in some way.
Yeah, they're doing something. Nothing here is just sitting there and letting your opponent do whatever they want. That's not happening. Um, no major weaknesses either. There's a ground weakness. Like, yeah, there is, but Rillaboom can help with that majorly.
Yeah, and it's not an overwhelming ground weakness
Yeah, it's just
either.
there. It's just kind of there.
Um, and you have a good fire, water, 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 grass core.
Mm-hmm. Three water types, but like they're all good. That's the thing.
If you're gonna triple up on any type, it's water or flying, in my opinion.
Yeah, or apparently steel, as we've now
Apparently
learned.
steel.
Apparently steel. Um, for flaws, there's a gap between Entei and a gap. I don't know why I said it like that. There's a gap between Entei and Iron Valiant. And that's a like that's one of the most important gaps right there, cause
Yeah,
everyone
one.
15er, everyone 15er.
Yeah, it's just
Persian.
a couple of Pokemon in that range. You're just gonna get a fair amount of extra EVs for bulk or even in nature.
God,
Um,
they're not gonna go. They're not gonna speed creep for Persian. It's not gonna happen.
the pivots are okay, but not amazing. You have Teleport Slowbro, U-turn on Rillaboom, and Baton Pass on Tatsugiri, which you can't
And
run while also running Rapid Spin.
no, no. Um, these are solid. These are solid. They're not great. Uh,
Um,
the final like quote unquote flaw here is that hazards are not as spammable as one would like, considering you grabbed Golden Go. Like you grabbed the Golden Go, might as well like kind of lean into that hazard spam. Um,
yeah,
and your hazard spam is just good.
it's fine. Can you tell we're grasping at straws at the last few teams because they're good?
Mm-hmm. Oh my
Anyway,
fucking god. This is Sienna's team by Sienna, and their logo looks even worse when upscaled. I'll post the high quality version of the logo here. It looks awful. The When it's crusty like that, it looks even worse. Dear lord. All right. Um, Jesus fucking Christ. Uh, Priority.
this
Those are
team has
priorities.
that is Mega Scissor, Bullet Punch, Raging Bolt, Thunderclap, and Weavile Ice Shard. That is very strong priority, and yet it also has very strong speed. Crobat, Weavile, Ogerpon, very fast Pokemon.
Type chart's also very good. There's only one flying resist, but Raging Bolt is fat, and that's pretty nice.
Yeah. The team has just good hazards, good removal.
Nothing spectacular, obviously, but um, not everything needs to be amazing. You can just be good and serviceable. You know.
Yeah.
And lastly, like this isn't a flaw, but your special attack is lower than your physical attack. That like it sure is. You know.
Yeah, but if you were only going to have a few special attackers, Raging Bolt and Floette are great ones. Swampert can run a special set, and Crobat can run Nasty Plot. So he'll be fine.
I've been
I think,
fucked up by Nasty Plot Crobat once.
yeah,
It's not fun.
I think as long as you don't face um a flying type that can break past Raging Bolt, this is going to do amazing and definitely earns our number 2 ranking.
Number one is Byzantine
I think it's
Silva
Byzantine, but I'm not sure.
Silvally Bullet Band. I don't think this team has a single flaw.
Yeah, this team is is really good. First thing, hazard setting and removal, all amazing. Three solid rockers, some toxic spikes, and a spiker in Mega Diancie. You have amazing removal in Quaquaval, Rotom Heat, Tornadus Therian, and Silvally. Your pivoting, amazing.
Yeah.
And Regenerator Core makes me want to tear my eyes out. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. I think Tornado Styrian and Tangrowth are probably the two best regenerator core in the best core in the game. It's either that or 20 and Glow King.
Yeah. And any small imperfection in the type chart that which we couldn't even find can be easily patched up with Silvally.
Mm-hmm.
So type chart probably the best you've seen. If I were to give it a flaw, it is that Mega Diancie to Silvally is a bit of a speed gap, and notably, neither of them can um
Hold us.
can run Choice Scarf.
Yeah. I guess.
So
Yeah, sure, that's a flaw. Yeah.
yeah, that's your flaw there. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
good thing.
Good team. That was our rankings. We hope every single player has fun this season.
Yeah, please feel free to tell us wrong in the comment section below.
Yeah, thank you, Frubblez, for doing that. Um, all right, that's it from us, gamers. We hope to see you another time.
Later.